We get started. Okay. I started the summary as well.
From a
Okay.
context
So,
perspective, it's been a year in my new organization, and they've started kind of agile for networking. I'm in networking team, so
mhm,
it's like uh, part of this Commonwealth Bank of Australia. So they have implemented their own framework. They call it PACE, and
mhm,
they have not prescribed anything. Kind of like what you do. It's up to the teams how they want to start with the journey, right? Be it relative sizing, or maybe if they want to start with checking what is the count of the issues they are completing first sprint, which is throughput, right? So generally, we have
mhm,
started using throughput. Right now, we are not using any estimates, and based on
mhm.
our number of issues completing, we are just try to focus and see. But in my previous organization, we were doing relative sizing also.
Mhm.
But I'm just checking like what's the trend now, where
Mm.
the industry is moving ahead, right? Because right now, if you see pro-Kanban.org, they are focusing mainly on flow metrics, Monte Carlo analysis, right? Why
Mm.
to spend so much time in story points and all anyway?
Mhm,
Why not
mhm,
take
mhm.
historical data and put that in tool and give some confidence percentage out of that, which will give you a better forecast than actual
Mhm.
what the story points. So just wanted to have a discussion on that. How in other organizations we are doing, is it working? What are the pros and cons?
Sure. Thanks for setting the context, Sahil. So, who would like to go take it up, or who would like to share their perspectives or their way of working, or what is working in your organization? That's what basically Sahil wants to understand.
Yeah, I'll go with my project
Sure,
the
Arun.
ways of working. So
Mhm,
normally at the big picture like Epic or features level, so we will go with t-shirt sizing estimate, and then that will be broken into story point estimate at user story level, and at the task level in the hourly estimate. So that depends upon the maturity, agile maturity of the team. So estimate will be done at the task level or at the user story level. But definitely we need an estimate. We need a capacity planning. So based upon the capacity of the team. So based upon the capacity of the team, we'll take the user stories into the sprint. But before that itself, there will be like a high level planning. So that high level planning can be 20 to 30% variance because we don't know the detailed technical challenges and interdependencies, complexity at granular level at the beginning of the stage of the project, right? So that's why there will be like around 30% a buffer kind of thing, contingency we'll call at t-shirt sizing level. Whereas at the story point level, it will be like, say for example, 8 hours a day, 6 hours for productive work and 2 hours for meetings. Because in the meeting, while capacity planning itself, we'll remove 2 hours per day for each resource for the meetings because Agile most of the time will be collaborating in the meetings, right? So and trainings. So there will be like 75% of productive work will take it as a capacity of the team. And while taking for 2 weeks or 3 weeks sprint, we'll calculate our capacity of the sprint in story points. Accordingly, we'll take the number of story points to the sprint. That's how we plan in our project.
Thanks, Arun.
Yeah.
So, one thing I just want to understand. It's not cross-questioning you, just for the
Yeah.
benefit
Yeah.
of the participants. So just to understand, one thing I want to understand is like, the how much is that story point estimates is really helping? That's what Sahil's actual question is about, like
Oh, okay. Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
working, right? So they are right in the current project, they're not doing the estimates and it is working for them,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
you are sharing your experience, like the story epic level, t-shirt sizing and the story points and everything. So how much is it
Mm-hmm.
effective at your team level? Is what the question.
Effectiveness we will come across only after at least 5 sprints. So because it is mainly the effectiveness of Agile estimates is for example, if you take a waterfall way of estimating, right? A sales team or a delivery manager or somebody will estimate, but team will be struggling to achieve as per that estimate. Whereas here, right, the developer and tester or like whoever business analyst, whoever involves in the project, they only giving the estimate. So the person who develops and tests gives the estimate, it will be accurate. And it is a relative. So because it is a relative compared to this, how much big that the next user story like that. Because it is a relative estimate, uh, so the getting the accurate values will be almost not possible. But over a sprint on sprint, sprint on sprint, release by release, the story points team will give accurately. I'm sure in the initial 5 sprints, team will not be able to give the accurate story points. We will feel like it is not a right way of estimating or even useless of estimating. But we will come across after 1 or 2 releases. Once the team is mature enough to estimate, we will see the effectiveness of story point estimating.
Hey, Satish, Sharath here.
Yeah.
Hi, Sharath.
Hey, hi everyone. Good evening. Yeah, I see around 26 people join, so I think others also can share their quick perspectives on how they are doing as of today.
Sure, Sharath. Yes. How about others?
Let me go.
Yeah, please go on.
Okay, this is Andrew here.
Yes, Andrew.
This story, this one estimation, we are using it to how we can meet our objectives. Okay, so that may not be perfectly accurate. I work in a safe agile mode. So what we are doing is during this pipe event and before that, we talk to the business and we understand like how much, what is the priority features they want to move to the production. And based on our capacity, like our vacation plan, all that is included. So based on that, this is our capacity and we negotiate with the business that our velocity is some 40 story point. So at a high level, we take that one. So we are using it for, so we are not accurate. And sometimes what happens during our execution, sometimes priority features comes also. Something new may also come. So we have to accommodate that, or there may be change in the requirement at the last moment. So here accuracy is not that important here for us. Important is like meeting the objective of the pipe.
Yeah,
Okay,
correct.
thanks.
In between production incidents also will come sometimes.
Yes, yeah, production. For that we keep a separate capacity. Like we have a production support engineer, and we take his 50% capacity for the development, 50% for the testing, and another one we take is for the defect fix. Also, we take it some of the capacity because our features are very big, so it is not possible that we may complete our testing in the one iteration. Like testing will be split to the next iteration. So we have some capacity for defect. So a little bit different than the actual what we say that actual what is that bookish agile is a different here because defect has to be fixed. So
yes,
because that will go to the next iteration, then where the capacity will come from further. So we reserve some capacity for that also. So that way we are going.
Yeah,
and
thanks,
this we are
Andrew.
following from last. This we are following from the last 1 year.
Okay.
My project is
Good.
not a new project. This project is an existing project, and we are working on the enhancement. So we are adding some new features on the top of the existing features.
Okay.
So maybe for the new project, it will be different one.
Yes.
Estimation.
So,
Yeah, let's hear
yes.
from others also. Good.
Yes, Shashank. Before going to Suman, Shashank, you were about to say something.
Yeah, so it is again different to what kind of project we are dealing in domain specific, right? So when I'm dealing with banking domain and I'm working with the DevOps support and release management, So to be very honest, they are hardly taking consideration of estimation point, right? I work on a tribe level, so in a tribe we have multiple squads. So we have set of agreement that this user story point, 3 user story point should given a it should be not a day enough of work. 8 story point should be of some 1.5 to 2 hours. So 2 days work effort. So on basis on that already we have agreement, and team used to do that. Furthermore, if you are going to have further brainstorming, we will do our maturity assessment for every quarter and to understand how it's working and how it's not working. If it's not working, it's not working. Why it's not working? If it's working, why it's working, and how better we can do that. So again, we also focus on deliverables, client, and stakeholders on priority, but not mingling to our estimation. So it's win-win situation for me as well. Yeah.
Thanks, Shashank. Suman?
Yes, Satish. I agree with Andrew on one point. Like, yes, even we are especially working on Safe Agile, what I have seen is, you will have a common estimation guidelines across the art, which we have to follow. And what if, in the situations like, if you have 12, 14, 15 teams and with different technologies, it will be on a level. So that's how it will be like, it will be categorized based on the um, complexity level. Yes, that is what I have seen. And especially if you are working on individual team level, then what I have seen is, to based on that guidelines itself is a very big headache. That's what I have seen. And second thing, what I wanted to check with Andrew here is he told like one sprint. I mean then he will not be able to do testing also. They have to continue the testing in next sprint. Are they creating testing? Just wanted to understand what is the best practice.
Can you come again? I missed your last sentence.
Yeah, what I wanted to understand, if a user story to
Okay,
complete the user story, you will not be able to complete the testing. So if you are
correct.
continuing the testing in the next sprint, are
Yes.
you creating the separate user story for only testing part?
Mm, what we do is sometimes we split the story if less work is there. If it is a little more work is there, and if you see that sometimes what happen, like we get our testing for around eighth or ninth day. So sometimes we complete that story. Sometimes we are not able to complete. So based on that, like if a more work is there, then uh, we split the story and we add hours. Or if a testing is not started, then uh, we create a new story, and we to that also we add this also defects also, because sometimes we
I
get the observation.
understand from Satish, like I have these questions from a very long time. So yes, if you are not able to complete a user story in one sprint, the best practice is to move this to entire user story to next sprint rather than because
Mm,
you have not completed the user story, right?
correct,
So
but
I wanted to see practically what you are doing. We are also doing the same thing in many
yes,
projects.
practically is there.
But
Yeah.
what is the best way of doing it? And one more
Uh,
help I want to
it
Satish
yeah,
is
it is based
how
on
to
like
answer
I'll give
this
you
question in
example.
interview. How to answer
Yeah.
this question?
Suman and Andrew.
Yes.
Suman and Andrew, just a minute. We are. Let's complete this question first, and then we can come back to your question, Suman. Right. So first,
No.
do we have anyone else want to add any points for Sahil's question? I can see Pravalika raised your hand. Pravalika. Suman,
Yeah,
we
I mean,
will take up your question, or you can add it to the AHA slides. Okay.
yeah. I mean, just a follow-up question on the conversation I've been hearing before. Somebody was talking about the defect estimation. So I wanted to understand what's the ideal way. Is it good way to estimate the defects? I mean, there were some conversations in our retro. The product owner says, no, you shouldn't be estimating the defects because that's actually was a defect which was supposed to be completed by a developer. And estimating it is not the right way. And on the other side, my perspective is that, I understand his perspective, and my perspective is that if you don't estimate, right, it will hamper the other committed stories also. It will have a ripple effect on delivering our sprint goal. So that is my perspective. So I wanted to understand what's the best way. Is it good way to estimate the defects? Again, this question came up. I think somebody was talking about estimating the defects, and then liked me.
Probably if you have
Okay.
access now, you can put in the AHA slide so that we can take it up as a
Yes.
follow-up question.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, people can share their views on the story points approach.
Sure.
Yeah, let's complete Sahil's question first. And yes, definitely, like for each question, we might get some follow-up things. Like Suman had one query, no, Pravalika had another query, right? So let's add it to the list so that it will be easy to track and follow up and discuss on it. Okay. Nagesh and Danya, you want to add points to Sahil's question, or you have a follow-up question?
What's working in your organization?
Yes,
What's working in your organization?
yes. This is for Sahid question. Am I audible?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Danya, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Hey, hi, Satish. So here, the question is like, what is working for the organization? Let us not go to the organization. Let us drill down to the team one. Now,
Mm-hmm.
how the story point estimation is working or not? See, if we are following, I mean, if we are using burn down, or for example, I'm considering that we are into Scrum framework, then
Mm-hmm.
for the first sprint, if there is a deviation from your actual burn down chart, right? So you will understand that there is some deviation like that. So I think Sharath has mentioned like we have learning from each sprint. So that's my point. Like if we closely monitor our burn down chart, this will actually help us to understand how good are we estimating our user story and if there is any improvement required for our team. So this is the way I have done it previously, not in my current projects. So yeah, understanding the burn down charts pattern has helped me, my team to know whether the estimation is accurate or related, like what is working.
Okay, so just to add a follow-up statement, we can track the burn down using the issue count as well. Need not be the story points, right? I mean, that is for the no estimates statement of Sahil, right? So the burn down chart, we have different options in the drop down. So we can tag or we can use the issue count in the burn down or in the burn up or any of the report. That way, we can get an idea of how many issues are getting completed. Right. See, end of the day, the focus is like to bring up that valuable software or working increment at the earliest possible. Need not be until the last moment of the sprint. So that's what another question came up, right? So what if like the testing is not completed and what we need to do with the story? So as a scrum master or as a coach, our focus should be on how we can help the team complete that deliverables in the shortest possible time. So for that, even the estimates might not be required or might not be helpful in every context. Yes, some of our teams are not following the estimates, where the focus is on how much of deliverables we are achieving by end of the sprint. So they are in a dilemma whether to follow Scrum or Kanban or anything. We mentioned them. Forget about all this. Go ahead and focus on your deliverables. Make sure you get the work done. That's it. Don't worry whether it is Scrum or Kanban or whether we have to do the estimates or not. So Sahil, coming back to your question, some of our teams are following that no estimates and they are focusing on the throughput. And that is where the flow metrics is coming up. How much of the deliverables we are getting done on the given timeline. The timeline need not be the sprint. It could be a month or it could be any duration we opt for.
So this is, can I add this one? Add one pointer or thought?
Sure, sure.
The last couple of sentences which you told now, this particular couple of sentences has been asked by one of my panelists in a recent interview that being a Scrum Master, how you going to measure your team's velocity or throughput? Is it by number of estimation they are doing properly or the product deliverable at the end of the 10th day? How we are going to do that? So you have to be very much clear and concise what you are going to do. It's valuable software, increment product, solution, any kind of thing, or is just as you going by book or by by book or by community of practices. No, we have to stick to our head and mind that estimation is proper estimation, no if no else, or it is just like another what you said, that context driven with respect to domain projects, multiple area we need to focus. So let's not stick to ourselves with respect to estimation numbers rather than what valuable product or increment we are giving end of the day. So that's what our stakeholder client and product owner are looking forward to. Yeah. So this has been asked.
Obviously, that's what even the
yeah.
Agile.
Yes, sir.
Yes, forget about Scrum, Safe, Kanban,
Yes,
everything,
sir.
right? The Agile itself is talking about working software,
Yes.
valuable software. So that is what the customers are looking for. So that should be the focus, and that's where the flow metrics or the flow is becoming popular and picking up the pace. Yeah, thanks, Shashank. And I could see 3 hands raised: Pushpalata, Shiva, and Jayashree. Your points is related to this question, Sahil's question.
I have an answer for
Sure.
the carry forward one, right? The one which is partially completed.
Sure. Go ahead.
Yes. So if any story which is partially completed, no matter how much percentage it is completed, we should carry forward that to the next sprint, because we are not working for teams credit here. We are working for the valuable things to do. So it also meets the definition of done. If anything which is half boiled rice is rice at all, right? It should boil completely. Right?
Exactly.
If I'm a customer and ordered something in an hotel, and if anything is not completely served to me, and the waiter says that no, sir, I have already ordered it, the things had to come from the kitchen. So it is not done for me. It is done only when it is served to my table. That makes sense, right? It makes a value only when it complete. So if testing is not completed and story is complete, development is completed, you cannot close that story. It is not done at all. So we should carry to the next sprint. And regarding the credit to the team, it will come on an average of velocity. So if it didn't complete in this sprint 1, it will complete in sprint 2. So average of velocity is not a completed of one sprint. Velocity is an average of completed sprints. It is number of completed story points, multiple sprint it is. So the credit will go to the next sprint.
Yes. Thanks, Shiva, for adding that. So Suman, to wrap it up, your question or doubt, right? So as per my experience, these are the 4 scenarios which might happen for any story which is in progress. I don't call it as not completed, but I will consider as in progress towards end of the sprint end. That story might be moved or planned to sprint n+1, which is the next follow immediate sprint, or might be moved or planned to sprint X, which is a future sprint, might not be immediate sprint, might be moved to product backlog and to be taken at a later point of time, or chances are there it might be marked as not required for implementation. Even this possibility is there if in case a story is not completed by a given sprint or given timeline. There are a number of reasons why a story which is almost completed, like 90% or whatever it is, might be marked as not required for implementation. There are various logics, various reasons. It is all based upon the product owner and the business context. Right. So, and as Shiva mentioned, any story whichever is not completed or whichever is still in implementation, one thing we need to ask ourselves: can we showcase the completed part to our stakeholders and can we get the feedback from them? If not, A simple answer is you have to move it to some subsequent sprint. Whatever, if we are unable to showcase that 90% or 80%, 70%, whatever is that completed story or completed implementation to the stakeholders during the sprint review, and we can't get that feedback, as per my personal opinion, it's a simple no. It is not completed, it is still in progress. We need to carry forward to the subsequent sprint as per the priority defined by the product owner. Does it answer your question, Suman?
Yes, Satish, very much it answered. That was my understanding given. But only thing is, if it is not a mature team or management, you have to handle them like how you can justify your velocity for that sprint actually. That was it was answered
The
by
velocity,
someone else. Yes, but few
yes.
people that is what I told unmatured. I mean, the maturity level of the team was not so good, or management. Why it is not completed? So team were pushed. They were forced to showcase the numbers. That is why they are doing it. Otherwise, what you said is
That
rightly
is
done. Even
So
we
in that,
followed it.
so
We
in that
followed
case,
both.
you to commit less and deliver more.
yes. Yes. So we need to let the team what do you say, commit whatever they can deliver, and we need to get it done. That's it. Okay.
Yes, correct.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Sahil, coming back to you, how are we doing from your question perspective?
I think a lot of points and discussions, but what I feel rather currently most of us, right, including me, I can't deny, but most of us have conversations. We'll go deeply into the mechanics, right? What are story points, whether we should consider point in this sprint or next sprint, right? And how should we do it if it's not completed, rather than driving the conversations around outcomes, right? If from this sprint, what impact we have achieved, rather than driving those conversations, we all as a community are so much focused around, how much story points we are doing per sprint, what should be our velocity, what will the management say if it is 5 or 10, rather than telling the management this is what we achieved in the sprint, this is the impact, how many customers we have recruited, or whatever is the metrics, right? In terms of outcomes, whether your revenue has been increased, maybe you can't find it out. Maybe after one sprint, you can validate whatever you have released in the production. But those conversations should be more on outcomes rather than into the mechanics. Okay, if it is a 5 story point, can I split into maybe 3, I will commit to this, and 2 in the next sprint for testing. So maybe we need to change that conversation. Mostly our POs and teams will stuck into those things rather than actually working on the valuable things, right? That's what I feel. We are too much into estimations and things and techniques. We have forgot about why we are actually doing the work. Customer doesn't want what story point you have done, right? At the end of the day, what valuable result you have achieved at the end of the sprint, right? He doesn't care whether you're doing Scrum, Kanban, or whatever framework you have proposed. He wants the things to be done. So whether you are doing it whatever way, are you providing value to him, right? Based on how you define value with the customer, right? What is valuable to the customer? So I think we have gone into more into the mechanics everywhere, wherever I see, right? What is story points? Why not? Should we split into multiple things? I think discussions, maybe we should have changed the discussions now and convince our POs, leaders into having the conversations around outcomes rather than outputs. That's what I feel.
So here
Definitely,
now,
definitely. So
let,
yes, Sharath.
yeah, let me share my perspective. See
Sure.
here the thing comes is framework. You want to take framework first or delivery first, or you want to balance both, right? You want framework to be in the front door, right? What you try to do, you always try to see how much, how much velocity the team is coming to, right? What is the average velocity, right? Which is very important because it is equally important to understand how much the team is able to deliver, right? And that velocity story pointing will also help us to make the predictability, right? In how many sprints probably we can be able to deliver. While that is equally important, इसमें जो pitfalls है, whatever the gaps that we have, now we need to address that and move forward, right? And at the same time, you need to ensure that team is delivering valuable items. उसमें prioritization कहाँ गया, right? If you do the right prioritization and give the right things to the team, they will deliver, as expected, right? What is of high value? Of course, there might be some pitfalls there also, some challenges with the tech team. So both of these things you have to take hand in hand. You can't teach philosophy and say that, story points and these are, you should not ignore. Sorry, you have to ignore and focus only on delivery. How you are going to measure the team's performance? At the end of the day, that's also a question, right? So you have to take both hand in hand, and जो भी shortcomings you have to address those. That is the role of the Scrum Master. Otherwise, why Scrum Master and coach is there? No need.
I think more importance, what I mean to say, let me say, more importance should not be given to velocity, right? If you say,
Why it should not be given? How
we can always
how you
gain the
measure
numbers,
your
right?
team's
If you
level?
are, yeah, see, if you
Ah,
are
if you
giving
are
more importance, people can always gain the numbers, inflate the numbers, and
if
show the velocity. Yeah.
if people are
So
gaming with the numbers, what you are doing as a Scrum Master? Why are you not
that
See,
questioning?
Sahil's point is, even I came across this for a couple of clients for my engagements. See, as a safe implementation, for example, like we are saying that as an agile release time, we committed and we delivered 1,000 story points end of the PI. The client coming back and asking 1,000 story points committed and delivered is good. What's the outcome you are delivering it to me? Simple question.
Right.
For which
Right.
none of them has an answer, because the priority, everything is prioritized, everything is defined, everything is implemented, but the key important things which are required are not finalized, not it is implemented. So the customer felt a simple statement: what's the use you showcasing that you delivered, you committed and you delivered 1,000 story points when I can't even make use of it? Right? That's what Sahil's point is. We are focusing too
prioritization
much on
itself is at
story
stake, right?
points. No, prioritization is there. Prioritization is
They
done.
have delivered 1,000 story points, but they fail
Mhm.
to prioritize correctly. That's why they are unable to deliver at the end of the PA, right?
Prioritization is done as per the client inputs, and whatever is required, whatever is the priority, everything is delivered. But the
Yeah,
end result,
If they
whatever is
themselves are
expected,
not
is not
agreeing,
met.
how you
The
can blame
team
the
cannot
client?
deliver values. Team can only deliver the functionalities. The values will be
Yes.
delivered or achieved by the customers.
I am asking right from sprint one, who asked you to not focus on the valuable items? Why you are talking at the end of the PA?
Okay.
Why you didn't talk
Yes.
in the first sprint itself about value? Okay, this is never-ending discussion, but good discussion. Let's move
Yes.
to the
Yeah.
next question.
Yes. Sahil, are we good? I can see Pushpalata still
yeah,
raise the hand. Pushpalata, you want to add any points to
Yes,
this?
yes. I just want to have added point regarding my project where here everything is going on that we have to estimate, we have to go with different types, or if at all we are not estimating, at least we have to go with the deliverable, right? So finally, what Sharath and you are focusing on, that we have to go on with the deliverable, and at the end of the day, metrics plays a very minimal role. Right. So when I ask my team specifically that, okay, we are coming out with estimates and everything never goes on with the estimate. So simply the answer is that we don't know how complex it is, and it's a completely new task and we are doing it for the first time. We are building it, and based on the apps environments, we are going on changing. So every time is a new task and every time is a new estimation, And every time I cannot promise that these are been committed. So in these scenarios, how we can exactly trace out that we are when something comes on by the owner, squad owner, or the client, that where are we, why we are not delivering, and we are allocating the story points, and after after committing, why it's not been pushed up. And as a scrum master, definitely we have to believe on team lead, or as Sharat said, what scrum master is doing. So how we can address this, like when you are on a like someone has also have focused on unmature teams, or still they are in the delivery stages, where they come across new tasks, and every sprint is a new sprint for them, where we are into building an orchestron platform for integrating different DevOps environments. So every time whenever I ask that why the estimation is going on wrong, so they told, no one knows how much is the estimate. Even the peer member doesn't know, even the team lead doesn't know, and even the squad owner is completely different, because we are going for safe and we have different platforms working on. So anyone have experienced these consequences or in your things, and how this can be
I
addressed
think
on? So
I think that's why they tell that it's difficult to estimate complex work, right? You can give some sizing, maybe small, medium, large. At the end of the day, you cannot estimate accurately, right? If you have complex work, there is a significant framework, right, where you can tell. There are a lot of things, right? Why people are moving to flow metrics instead of pure estimation of sizing and all, because it's really difficult to do those estimations and predict. But if you have those flow metrics and historical data, it is easier to forecast what I feel. That's why, and the question every time will be asked, why your estimations are wrong? Because those are estimations, right? Those are
yes,
not actual.
but they are not nearer also, like they are not been
I think
approximate also, or yeah, to the nearest
it's
estimation also
fine.
we are not.
Maybe if we start every sprint during the review, are we reforecasting and telling the client, right? Based on the progress, every sprint is the PO doing the reforecasting, because that has to be reforecasted, right? Based on your progress. And that has to be made transparent, your progress. So at the end of the sprint, suppose you did some work, a PO should reforecast the remaining things and communicate. And you should maybe involve the stakeholders in the review part also. And that's how you can remove some of these gaps, communication gaps.
Yes, yes. And here one challenge is that we don't have, a client or someone to exhibit. Here, this application, this platform team is building their platform, and this is being used by different teams. And they are the people who know the architecture and who know the challenges. No one knows it, except issue comes from the app team, that we are facing this issue. So no one is there to question on, no one is there to focus on that this is the right feature, or this is the priority, or this is not the priority, and is it really required. So here complete decision is on the team lead. Okay, the squad owner may be telling that okay, we are going on in a right direction or not, based on his things, but architecture wise the team is strong, and they tell that no one knows what goes on. And whenever we go for sprint demo or sprint review, specifying that we have added this, or we have completed this, or we have showcased this, so it's becoming a complex task for me in the estimation, especially when Sahil have raised this question. So I was just thinking that, oh, it's my case on.
This is not a problem in the estimation here. This is a problem in the architect
Yes.
design or solution approach. It is.
Okay.
They're supposed to
And
give
this
the
is
proper requirement.
this also has a challenge with the way the team is understanding the requirements, or the squad leader or squad owner, who it is, setting the context to the team. Right. So there, because of which also the team might be having this challenge on how to estimate, or what to estimate or what not to estimate.
Yeah, they're
And
going on with the right direction, going on with what priorities. So I'm just trying to align the objectives of team with squad owner. Yeah, I'm doing my things, but yeah, this is what I have experienced, and I thought I will share with when Sahil has
Definitely.
passed on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
okay.
you. Yeah.
Thanks for
Pushpa,
that.
here,
Deepti mentioned like
1 second.
just a minute, sir. Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead,
go
sir.
ahead, sir.
No,
You go ahead,
Deepti
Satish.
mentioned that having a reference story and it being estimated and referring to it while estimating other stories might help. So there is one way, especially starting with a new module or new client, new engagement, having a couple of reference stories and taking that as a baseline for the estimating the other set of stories. There is one approach. The other approach, what Sahil mentioned, is like end of every sprint, we will get to know what's the actuals or how much reality the estimates are meeting. If not, yes, we can re-estimate and we need to convey that back to the client.
Yeah. So here client part is
Over to
missing, Satish. Client part is missing. Here they have
client
developed
in the
the
sense.
platform. See, developed the platform, and this orchestral platform is used by different app teams whenever they are going for onboarding. Okay. So until the app team comes out with a problem, we don't know whether it's a bug or it's a success or not. They will develop, they will enhance the features. So here there is no client to exhibit on. The client is wherein the feedback of the app teams that whether they are
Your client is
happy
app
with.
team. You should involve them
Yeah,
in
your
the
client is your app
interview.
team. Yes.
So different app teams, we have number of applications going on. So
You should have
okay,
them.
fine. Yeah, we can have. Yeah.
Otherwise, there will always be a problem, right? What is your goal,
Yes,
right?
it's
Maybe
becoming
maybe
it's becoming a problem from squad owner to team lead
Yes,
always
yes.
on.
set some maybe monthly goals at least. Yeah. That's what.
So Sahil, I'm marking your question as answered.
This question will actually never be answered, but yeah, this is like the first question is never ending.
The purpose of estimation is not to reach accurate.
Thanks everyone. Exactly. Yes,
Yeah,
thanks Shiva.
let's move forward.
Moving ahead, what is the difference between servant leader and true leader? Difference between self-organizing, self-managing teams. Who would like to take it up?
If it is for the Scrum Master, this point is servant leader. There is no leader term called, there is no leader in Scrum or Scrum Master. They are not leaders. They are the part of team. They are the team member. If they're acting themselves as a leader for that Scrum team, then it is wrong. Neither they are the servant leader.
Both are, you should combine both. Servant leader, that's not saying just leader. Servant leader. Leader as a servant to the team. Serving the team for their best purpose. That is
But
what
not the
servant
leader,
leader
right?
is.
But not as a leader.
Not as a leader. Yes, you are right.
Yeah.
A leader
That's why
serving
there is
for
no
the team.
word called leader in the Scrum. We should not use leader
That's
for.
right.
The moment we use leader, it means they are at the top hierarchy.
Leading from the front, serving for the team for their best purpose, so that others can learn from them. That is the understanding.
Yeah, but the Scrum guide,
Not bossy, not
says
bossy.
specifically. The Scrum guide says specifically, Scrum Masters are true leader that serves. So you can't remove the leader. They are still leaders, but they serve because they're part of the leadership of the squad or the team. But in the leadership role, they serve the team and they serve the organization.
Yes, Idris, that's correct. So as per latest Scrum Guide 2020 version, the servant leader terminology was changed as a true leader. So the question is like, what's the difference between servant leader and true leader? My perspective, there is no change or there is no difference between the way it is represented. But the reason why it is changed from servant leader to true leader is like the understanding of the organization or understanding of what a servant leader is missing. In many contexts, there's a reason. It is explicitly refined or revised as a true leader. As Sharath mentioned just now, like it is leading the team and help making sure the team is succeeding in their implementation. And there is a very major difference between the manager and leader. So the Scrum Master is not the manager of the team. Scrum Master is a leader of the team. And we all know that Scrum Master won't have any authority or control on the team.
And yes, if I could add to that as well, and I think, like you rightly said, is that interpretation of the word servant. Because within some teams, they believe that you are a servant. So we need
Does it help you?
Sorry?
No, go ahead, Idris. I think there's some network issue.
Like I was saying, so I think it's that word servant, and that was why I was saying change from servant leader to true leader. Because most teams, most organizations misconstrue the meaning of the word servant. So you are not a servant in the terms of, we are out of tea, we are out of coffee, we need coffee, we need tea, we need this. So you need to serve the team in all aspects. So I think that's one of the rationale. I think that was what they said when they actually changed it to true leader that serves. You are a leader of the team, but then you serve them in some
Misusing that word. Okay.
And if you look at the Scrum Guide, it talks about the Scrum Master serves the team, the organization, and the product owner as a leader.
Thanks, Idris. Jayshree?
Yeah, actually, I would like to add a point over here. Scrum Master, servant leader is not exactly like leader. Yeah, it is a true leader, which is basically like he or she would be accountable for delivering effectiveness, deliverables mainly, which would add a value to it. And yeah, so we have many titles in organizations like coach and all, managers and all that. But there is a role called Scrum Master who serves, who make the team to achieve the results. Who guide, coach, something like that. So here comes the true leader. Not exactly, they'll serve the team from everywhere, wherever the team stands, and by removing impediments and all that. And so that a team can contribute to improving the Scrum team effectiveness. So I hope this is the main thing where we call as true leader, not exactly like leader, to improve the Scrum team.
Thanks, Jayshree.
Let's move forward,
Lalita, you'd like to go next?
Okay.
Hi. Actually, when it comes to leadership, there are two styles, formal and informal. So formal leaders are those who draw vision, mission, and direction for their organizational activities. They are called formal leaders. They can be our supervisors or top management or the middle management. But when it comes to informal leaders, they are they are present in groups and they try to influence the groups in different ways. They are informal leaders. When it comes to Scrum Master, he's called as a servant leader. The reason is he should be the first person to assist the team to overcome their difficulties. That is the reason he's called as a servant leader. First person who is responsible to make the team comfort by removing obstacles which are hindering them to perform. So that is why he's called as servant leader. I hope this explanation is easy to find the difference. Thank you.
Now the
Thanks,
Scrum
Lalita.
word called Scrum servant leader. It has only true leader.
Yes. And moving on, the second part of the question, difference between self-organizing and self-managing teams. Yes, Lalita.
Organizing means arranging the line of authority or responsibility, that is self-organizing. When it comes to self-managing, managing the activities, who is responsible for particular duty or a responsibility, that is called managing. Thank you.
Thanks. Deepti?
Yeah, I think self-managing is more of managing the team and its activities, like your events and the work that has to be done can be managed by a self-managing team. A person need not, like Scrum Master need not be there to drive your scrums every day, or your PO might not be needed in scrums to figure out what it is. That's a self-managing team who will kind of coordinate, collaborate, and let everybody know about everything. Self-organizing team is more about when there is a design discussions, and when there is impediments, and when there are more serious things towards delivery. If they're able to resolve and figure out things to move forward without any blockers within the team, then they can be termed as self-organizing teams. Thanks.
Thanks, Deepti. Anyone else want to add?
I don't know, I've never understood the real difference. For me, both words look is exactly same for me. Maybe they've changed it in Scrum Guide from organizing to self-managed. Previously, it was organizing and now self-managing. But for me, it was always the same. Literally, maybe some different, but exactly it's like team decides who will do what, when, how, right? So I think it's same for me. It's just a jargon there. Change the word like from servant leader to true leader. Now, again, if this question is pertaining to a Scrum, it's like self-organized to self-managed. I think they've changed to self-managed somewhat. That's what I believe.
Thanks, Sahil. Idris, am I
Yeah, so
pronouncing your name correct?
yes, you are. Thank you. Yes. So
Thank
I
you.
think again, I think the level, to me, the slight difference between organizing and self-managing is the level of autonomy. So self-organizing have that autonomy, so they can organize around what they need to do and everything. But when it now comes to self-managing, beyond that autonomy, they also have the right and option to choose their day-to-day operations, how they want to do things, and what they want to do.
Thanks, Idris. That's an interesting answer. Okay. Yes.
Is it like self-managed teams decide the team itself who should be in the team?
Yes.
Like rather than self-organizing? Like generally in all the organization decide the squads and all. Maybe the self-managed team, they decide who should be in the team. Like the management tell this is the goal, and there are 50 people. You decide form the teams, right? Something like I don't know, but I just my thought.
Yeah, someone is saying something earlier. Sharat, is that good?
Yeah, I was just trying to echo with what I think Lalita has told. Lalita or someone else, some lady has told. Very good. And that at least helped me to differentiate between these self-managed and self-organized. Where I think she told self-managed is with even though in the absence of product owner and Scrum Master, team can be able to self-manage. I think they know what they need to do, how they need to do. They are in the position of making decisions, crucial decision making, right? So and self-organizing also as part of self-managing. All these activities, I think they care for themselves, whereas self-organized people accept that where still some guiding force will be there, but still they self-organize the things in terms of events or artifacts on managing what a usual Scrum Master needs to do. So yeah, that's how I also visualize.
Thanks, Sharad. So one thing from my perspective, like the managed teams, their self-organizing teams focus on the delivery part, on making sure like the delivery is taken care, and the self-managing teams will be taking care of the discovery part as well. When I say discovery, what needs to be implemented? It's need not be the responsibility of product owner. It's how to implement is also, and if a team is that much mature, well established, and taking care of each and everything on their own, that's when we can call it as a self-managed team. That's what my understanding, my perspective. Sahil, you shared the what do you say this screenshot.
I shared from this Mike Cohen.
Mike Cohen.
I think
Okay.
I have seen this somewhere. I remember. So this is what the final thing is, like self-governing teams, where the team takes all the responsibilities, if you see.
Yes. So yes, that's what everything is taken care by the whole team. Right? See, the self-designing team, self-designing team is where like the designing the team and its context, and then setting the overall direction also might be taken care by the team if it is a self-governing team, which might not be the case, at least right now, for some of the organizations or some of the teams, where especially the service companies, right? So where we have to follow the client instructions or the client guidelines, or at least the overall direction will be coming from the client or from the leadership team. Right? But there are few organizations where they are focusing on moving into that self-designing team and self-growing team or self-governing team. Sorry. Thanks for this, Sahil.
Good one. Yeah.
Okay, yes, let's go back. What's the different prioritization techniques we are using or recommending to our teams at team level or at high level, probably program level? Who would like to take it up? And by the way, we still have time. So if in case any new questions or anything, we can take it up. Feel free to add once we are done with this question.
I think you are not answering. There are a lot of questions.
Is it?
Yeah. I saw at least in my screen, I can see.
Oh, okay, let me see. Looks like the internet is fluctuating. Okay, yeah, but yes, let's. Oh, okay. Oh, wow, wow. Super, super. Nice, nice, nice. Looks like the internet is playing the game. Okay, yes. What is the different prioritization techniques? Let's go ahead with this question, and then we can go with the next questions.
We have Moscow technique. Must have better to have like that. That is one of the technique.
Okay.
You are telling Moscow technique, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yes. And how about the program level, Arun?
I'm not aware of program level.
Okay, sure, sure. Yeah, anyone else? Idris, yes.
Yes. So at the program level, I tend to recommend, or maybe weighted shortest job first. with it.
Okay.
And then at the team level, I use more of the Kano model or the value and complexity quadrant rather than Moscow. I think I stopped using Moscow because, again, Moscow, everything is a must. So out of the must, which one is the most important of the must?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Thanks.
Thank
So
you.
WSDF weighted shortage job first, which is one of the recommended prioritization technique from Scale Agile. Thanks for bringing that. We are planning to have a session on that, the hands-on session, not just the theory part. We will schedule it maybe in the month of April or maybe towards last week of March. We will schedule the session. Okay. Deepthi was mentioning could be on the delivered value and its cost efforts. Okay. Any other techniques?
We have SWAT like that. I don't have much idea on that, but we have the SWAT is SWAT technique.
SWOT or
AT,
SWAT?
SWAT technique.
I
Okay.
think it should be
Let's.
SWOT.
Oh,
Opportunity. That's what you're doing, right? SWOT. SWOT or SWOT? Let me take it.
SWAT, I haven't got anything, Arun. Only SWOT is what I got. What is a SWAT approach?
yeah, SWOT only, correct.
I think
Yeah,
strength,
SWOT.
weakness, opportunities,
That,
threats, right? That should be SWOT.
yeah, that is at the that we typically use at the strategy level to figure out whether we can take up this project or what challenges or what threats, what's our weakness. So typically we do it at the project level, RFP level or something like that. Okay, so let me share my screen. There is another technique called as RICE. I will share that link in the chat. You can take a look at it. So RICE is another prioritization technique, which at the program level or the feature level, we can make use of it. So what is a RICE? Reach, impact, confidence, and effort. So what's the reach? Reach in the sense it is talking about what is it? Yeah, see, it will be like the number we have estimated. Like if you expect your project will lead to 150 new customers within the next quarter, or if you estimate, so based upon it, we can come up with that the reach score, how much we are expecting by implementing this new feature, how much is the how new customers might get onboarded, and the impact is like a quantitative goal. It is more to do with the customer delight, right? So there is another what do you say, the parameter impact. The third one is the confidence. How confident are we with that? 100%, 80%, 50%. We will typically give it. And then the effort. It is typically like, okay, for implementing this, what could be the effort? It could be the t-shirt size or high level estimate. So these are the parameters which we can use for the RICE prioritization technique. And there are the videos as well. 1 hour video and few videos or few resources available on this site. Take a look at it. This is another what is another technique which can be used as required. And some cases, we might say not RICE, we use only ICE, which is like impact, confidence, and effort. If in case we are not clear, not comfortable, or not aware about the reach, sometimes you might say, hey, how do I know how many customers might onboard? I'm not sure. I'm not confident. Try to focus on the ICE. Are you good with this? Sahil, are you good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so how to make the team into high performing and self-organizing?
It is like a forming a team and gradually maturity of the team will increase, right? In that direction, I'm asking. Form, perform.
Big storming, performing.
Yeah.
So who would like to take it up?
I think we need to take small steps, maybe have some small improvements as part of it to implement it and improve. Because high performing team takes time. So focus on one area, maybe if it is sizing, maybe focus on that for a month, then move on to another area, what the team wants to take on, right? So based on the retrospective feedback, uh, which thing we want to improve, maybe what is the priority, and focus on those small items and then move it to another. It could be a good start, I think.
Okay. Yes, Dipti?
Yeah, I think I would like to add to what Sahil said. So every impediment faced will always give us an improvement that we can do, and every blocker or every something that is slowing down will always give us an improvement. So probably creating kaizens for every sprint, and having one kaizen every sprint will gradually walk the team towards self managing or improving. It could be various ways. It could be on product side, it could be on metrics, it could be on prioritization, it could also be on the way team executes sprints. But I think slow steps to learn from the mistakes done or to learn from the graph that is seen is probably effective, and the team also will resonate with that.
Okay, thanks, Dipti. Idris, yes, please.
Yeah, so when we were talking about self-managing and self-organizing, we spoke about autonomy. So to actually make your team more high performing, you need to give them that autonomy. Let them decide what they want to do. Let them fail fast and learn, and let them continue to improve. I think if you give them the autonomy to take decisions, they will become high performing because they will be accountable for whatever decisions they take.
Yes. So one of the scale agile principle is like decentralized decision making. So what decisions we are letting the team take, what decisions we are letting the leadership take. Based upon that, also we will get an idea, and we can start making sure the team were able to take the decisions or team were able to organize and improvise as well. It's not just organizing, right? So the team needs to be able to take care of the things on their own. Like as Sahil shared that link. So each and every decision or each and every step, how comfortable the team is, we can give a try and we will get to know. Not just doing a maturity assessment every time, right? So yes, sometimes we might say, "Hey, even though I'm there as a Scrum Master, you go ahead and facilitate the meeting or the event, and you take it up and let's see what works or how you're taking the decision." So there are different ways we can figure out to make the team high performing. And one of the thing required is like to how much the leadership is getting involved as well in the day-to-day deliverables of the team. Okay.
So just want to add a couple of things. Here we are
Yes,
talking
sure.
about yeah, thanks, Satish. Here we are talking about high performing teams, right? While few people have already covered that they need to be more self-organized, right? And we need to ensure we are providing right kind of psychological safety, right? where they can play with the things, fail fast, learn faster, as Idris has told. That will help them to take some choices, make some innovation, through which they can be able to self-explore their capabilities, right? That is the chance that we are giving them. That's why most of the companies invest more on the innovation labs today, right? If you see companies like Amazon, Flipkart, or any Microsoft, they invest more on the uh, innovation part, right? They introduce a lot of products, um, right? And a lot of their interns or experienced people invest their time in that innovation lab, so that even though they try to introduce 5 products, 4 products are failing because of some XYZ reason. That one product, like AWS, for example, will take over all the losses, that will be a prime product like Amazon Prime and all, right? So that's why they are investing a lot of time in the innovation labs, as well as giving importance to that. That will also help the teams, to self-explore their capabilities. Another thing, the companies have to invest on the skill set also, right? Whatever is the latest and greatest, either they need to provide some way of opportunity, in terms of internally, by getting the trainers and exploring that skill set, or provide some kind of assistance. That also some companies are not doing today. I don't want to go into that. People are self-learning using the external platforms. Either way, cross-functional skill set needs to be developed to ensure, they are at that level where they can be able to self-explore things. So if we provide these kind of, what you call capabilities and facilities to the team, obviously, we will see some high performing teams, right? And apart from that, implementing our frameworks in a right way. Scrum, most of the people who implement Scrum in different ways, sometimes they take it like, okay, this practice is okay, that practice is okay. But if we implement the framework also in a correct way, that also help them into, getting into one of the capabilities that will help them to move as a high performing team. So that is my understanding, and of course certifications and all, which will help them to explore new areas. That those capabilities only need to build the products, right, at the end of the day, and that make the teams high performing. I think if no
Thanks,
one
Sharat.
has to share, we can move forward.
Sure. What is the so the next 2 questions are for same or similar. What is the best practice good to estimate defects, and fixing defects should we estimate follow up based on our discussion? Are we good with these 2 questions, or we are still have something to discuss?
I think the approach should be the same, whatever is for is. Any piece of work, whatever estimation team is using, should be the same approach. There should not be a separate estimation approach for defect and separate for user story. It should be the same. Ultimately, it's all of how what's about the volume, complexity, uncertainty. So it has to be estimated. If you're doing relative sizing, do some relative sizing. If in idle days, do idle days. That's what I feel. I don't think so. There should be separate approach for estimating different type of work.
And I forgot to tell one more thing regarding high performing teams, using rewards and recognitions as a plan. Okay, that continuously motivate at least a substantial portion of people to perform much better within their teams. Okay.
Okay. Yes. The next question
Hey,
again.
Satish.
Hi, Deepak.
Hey, Satish, wouldn't mind to go to this defects one, if possible, one more time.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes,
So,
Deepak.
there are mixed feeling across whoever practice the Agile. So defect really need to estimate. So some of the team or organizations, they feel like story or features already estimated, whatever is the story points. And during the SIT, if some defects are coming, either not developed or they didn't test properly, and during the testing, QA testing, it has come across. So some of the organizations, they do without story point, but some of the people I have come across, they do estimate the defects as well. During my discussions with them, I come across, is this defects is basically, I would say, known issues or a new opportunity which was not originally estimated. So lots of gray area we have. So how this forum do that for their practices? Do they really estimate the defects, or it's a it's go without estimate?
I think if it's part of a story, if you are finding the defect in the same sprint, basically we should not re-estimate because it's a part of the development and testing of that particular story, right? But it's coming as a part of production defect afterwards. Obviously, that is a work for you, which you need to extra effort for you, right? If coming after going into production or maybe in SIT or UAT, when the story is developed and team has moved on to other sprints, so that particular effort needs to be accounted for. That's what I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And another point is like sometimes what we observed is like especially the production issue or anything, we observe that the defect whichever is coming up, either the production defect or anything, will be converted as a story so that no confusion, and the team can go ahead and estimate, and team can go ahead and implementation itself. So the defect will be still there for the production tracking and everything, but that defect can be converted into a user story so that the team can take it up, because especially the production defect coming up, right? So the team needs to do some analysis, not some, at times a lot of analysis, why it is working in the current system before deployment to production versus what's the gap in the production side. It could be the data configuration, or it could be the server issue. It could be various reasons, right? So the team might have to spend a significant amount of effort from their side. So from that perspective, some of the cases, what I observed is like the teams are converting that defect into a story, and if required, as a spike and a story to do the exploration regarding the issue, have the follow-up conversation with the customers and users, analyze the logs, and identify what's the root cause, what the challenge, everything, right? So that is what might help the team by estimating the defect in such cases.
Generally, we create stories and link it to the defect also.
Yes.
Because in order to fix the defect, development team also has to spend the effort and testing also has to be done, right? So it is a story only where you need to develop and test and then only deploy. So better create a story and link it to the production defect. So that can also help in tracking.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and maybe use labels for the user stories, production defect, something which you can tell, okay, these stories were part of production fixes, something to distinguish in a Jira board or whatever board you're using.
The reason for
Are we good, Deepak?
brought this one, yeah, reason for brought this one, Venkat, is this particular questions having lots of different thought and
Yes.
if if a
No,
tight
it has to
budgets
be
and all.
agreed in your project, first of all. All the
It
stakeholders.
needs to be agreed by your project, your client, or your engagement manager, whoever it is. You need to give a valid reason or the logic, right? See, some cases why it is not agreed is like the team will just go ahead and do the deployment. They know that they can estimate the defect, so they won't focus on the quality. They will go ahead and do the deployment. And whenever the issue comes up, they will start estimating and they will start adding up the efforts. So there is a reason some cases the teams or the clients will not allow for the estimating the defects. Right. So there is a reason, the logic we need to understand as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Does it answer your question, Deepak?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Subbu, is it the right way if quality team is coming up with Monte Carlo when technique to forecast the confidence of Scrum team before start of the sprint by having sprint planning data on the very first day? Can we get some more clarity on this question? Subbu, you're there? Okay, looks like he dropped off.
Yeah, I think he told you dropped.
Yes, he is having a. Okay, let's go ahead. For now, let's mark it. How is the product owner role move towards product management? What extra should a PO do to keep pace with the customer needs other than following the project processes? Who would like to take it up?
I didn't understand. Maybe the last part is contradicting, right?
Yeah, last part is
project processes, maybe not even a PO, because product owner is a product manager, right?
Yes.
In Scrum, maybe it's called a product owner, but whoever is having that playing that role, he should be proficient in product management, in product discovery. So all those product management skills comes into picture, right? User personas, user interviews, whatever is there. There are a lot of things in product management. Scrum guide don't explain, right? That the person, whoever is playing that role, should be proficient in product management. And the second question related to project processes, obviously, that is not the role of a PO. Role of a PO is to have more interactions with the customer, get the customer problem, pain points, like the slides, right? Get that problem and then work with the team to solve that things. The process and all is mostly agile coach or a scrum master who is playing that role in the team can take on. That's my perspective. But first part is how is a product owner role more towards product management? Product owner role is actually a product management role. That's my answer. So he has to be proficient in all the project management thing. Right? Just a title maybe some companies are using, but it's actually a product manager.
Hey, hi, hey everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, Pavani.
Hey, hi. This is the first time that I'm joining this link of here. So I just wanted to check whether I'm audible and everything is okay from my side.
Yes, sure. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, sure. Well, like on this particular point, right, I just wanted to kind of slightly contradict. Product owner role is definitely is not the same product manager role, at least in the organization that I'm working. So manager role is like more towards, I mean, like for example, if the team is product owner role is basically very much dedicated to a particular team, right? So but whereas when it comes to product manager, right? So if the team, if the Scrum team is involved as part of a particular program, which is again representing a larger product, right? So that is where the differentiation between PO and PM comes in. So PM basically holds up the total responsibility of the product, not just at the team level. Basically, PO takes a piece of it, not the whole product, right? So, but then when it comes to Scrum, he takes the whole responsibility of the product, but then the vision and the roadmap of the product has to be sorry. Uh, Sorry, am I still there?
Yes, Pony. Go ahead.
Sorry, I thought I got cut. Okay, so what I mean to say is these two are definitely different. So product manager has got a total responsibility of the product in terms of the product's vision, the roadmap, and also its maintenance, the marketing, and everything. When I say marketing, no, he won't directly involved with the marketing and all that, but then definitely he has to constantly keep in touch with the customers to make the product better. But then when it comes to PO role, he or she may not be up to that much. They may not involve that much, but then their role is very much limited at a team level. But then still, even PO needs to know the product strategy and the product roadmap and all that. But then all these details he would get from the PM. Definitely, these two are different. PM owns the product, I would say. This is my point.
Sure. Thanks, Bonnie. Idris?
Yeah, thank you. So I think the product owner and the product manager, I don't think basically there's much difference. So the product management role probably just came in when we started talking about scaling frameworks. So your Scrum doesn't say anything about product manager, remember. You only have a product owner. So, but because we are scaling, now organizations in there, and maybe safe too, in their whatever, decided to introduce another layer, which is the product management. And it brings so much confusion because basically a product owner can do what a product manager can do. So in SAFe, for instance, I think the product management deals with the product vision, with the at the initiative or the initiative level, whereas the product owner deals with the teams at the team level, and that's basically what the major difference in SAFe. Whereas in reality, in most organizations, your product owner can actually do everything, from product discovery to product vision, product strategy, anything you want them to do. It's actually within the confines and the accountability of the product owner. So to me, really, it's just a duplication and maybe just creating different layers and layers and layers of accountability and roles. Thank you.
Thanks, Idris. Shall we go ahead? Okay. So the next question, until unless something comes up, how to drive conversations more on outcomes than outputs with our teams and management.
One quick thing that comes to my mind as soon as I see this question is just getting that big picture to the team would definitely benefit us to get that outcomes mindset to the team. I mean, like most of the time, what will happen is some teams, especially the developers, they do not have the big picture. But whatever that is coming in as part of a particular iteration and sprint, they'll be kind of jumping in, then they'll try to work on that. but then most of the time they won't be able to connect the dots and they won't be able to get the big picture, where the piece that they are working in that particular iteration is going and fitting in the big picture of that particular product and all that. So if we can get that big picture to them, maybe with the help of team leads, or why I'm saying team leads is that team lead concept is still there, though it is an anti-pattern, but then team lead concept is unfortunately still there, and it's just lingering in the Scrum teams. Maybe through team leads or POs, if we can get that big picture to the team, probably they would see themselves in a better place, and then they'll be able to think towards outcomes. It's just one point of it.
Thanks, Pawni. Yes, so just to continue the point what you mentioned, right? Setting the context, the entire context of the team, so the entire context of the product or the solution, what we are working, the big picture, will definitely help the team any point of time, right? So, and that responsibility lies with the product owner at the team level, directly or indirectly, to make sure the team is understanding what is it the team is building. I mean, sir, what is the overall product, the solution, the roadmap within which, what is it we as a team is taking up that ownership, and what is it we are building or we are planning to build for the current sprint. That is what, if the product owner can set that context to the team, that's what helps the team to start focusing on the outcome. That is one way. So to make it happen, as a Scrum Master, we may have to coach, mentor, or guide, or assist the product owner to share this information with the team by maintaining the transparency and making sure the team is aligning to what do you say? Yeah, bringing the alignment to the whole team on what is it we are building. Okay.
Go ahead, it is.
Yeah, if I can quickly add to that as well. If I can add to that, so we look at the relationship between your product vision, your roadmap, and your product goal, and then subsequently your sprint goal. So if we have an object, and then again, I can link it to the OKRs as well. So if we look at the impact, the product vision is all about the impact. What impact do we want to make, rather than just the outcome, the output, which is just all about activity. So we should have a product vision which states exactly what we want to achieve, what we want a product to achieve. And once we can actually articulate what that vision is, it helps us drive our product vision, product goal, which again basically should be something measurable. It's not all about activity. It's not about doing things, but what is the impact of what we're doing? And I think, again, apart from the product owner communicating the product vision and the product goal to the Scrum team generally, I think the involvement of the Scrum team or the buy-in of the Scrum team makes a lot of difference. Because if the team knows exactly why we are doing, which is the why we are doing this product, and what is the outcome we want to achieve, it kind of creates that shared understanding and it motivates the team. Thank you.
Yeah, just to, I think, great reply. I think asking the question why we are doing what we are doing at each level, team level, when piece of work is assigned to a person, he should be asking why we are doing this. What's the value we are generating? At a sprint goal level, feature level, right? Tying and linking it to the strategy, vision, and roadmap, right? Whatever is the roadmap to strategy and vision, that could help in driving the outputs rather than just doing the work. Most of the times, if you see, the developers are finishing the work, but if you ask them what's the value you have delivered by completing the story, most of us, don't have an answer for that because they don't know the overall picture, how this story is linked to the overall goal and what impact they are making by completing this work. So that's all.
I think to my knowledge, Satish, I think to my knowledge, the journey should start from the day one itself, right? When you are driving those product conversations, we need to start involving the IT from there itself, so that
Yes.
they'll come to know the big picture at least at a very high level, followed by next set of conversations, so that once at the leadership level and the next level comes to know what is the product we are trying to build from the tech side also. So they will carry forward those kind of conversations in the lowest level also, right, at the team level. And when we are having these grooming and grooming sessions and all, instead of just talking about what the tech part that they need to build, it's also equally important to help them understand over a 5-minute conversation also, like how this product is going to play a key role as part of the overall roadmap or as part of our, um, uh, priority products that we want to deliver for the organization. So these kind of why part, which someone has told, needs to be shared with the teams at the highest level as well as the lowest level, so that people will start thinking more on the outcomes part, right? Because they are aligned with what product we are trying to deliver and what are the key functionality we are trying to deliver. So just blindly delivering the code and dumping it to whatever repository tool that you have, they also understand the why part of it. That's how I think we can create good outcomes.
Thanks, Sharath. Okay. Yes. Anyone else? Anything else before we go ahead?
So Satish, basically,
Yes, Deepak.
what I sensed while reading this, some extent this is linked with our manifesto 1, which is individual interactions, right? So drive the conversations which play a vital role, because when this project get kicked off, or either could be a features or intake, or take example for Epic, whatever it is, it's coming through these conversations. It's lots of debates, lots of conversations by the people only. So rather than focusing on think about what is actually required, get things developed first, rather than giving customers a bunch of items which is predominantly not required for. So not only one side who is driving, it could be your project manager is driving. Once your features get created, team is started building, deploying, it is not driving any significance for the business. So engage everyone, every level, team level, program level, portfolio levels, engage everyone and develop what is needed, rather than every release or every quarterly giving bunch of items which is not having any value. And this conversation establishes very heavy relationship, and then it gives lots of opportunity to understand the system end to end. Those who are moderate level of the persons in the team, or who are experts, they know the entire ecosystems of this product or system, what they are developing on it. So,
Thanks, Deepak. Okay. Yes. Anything else? Define what does value means to customer, and sharing the big picture, and communicate frequently, and making sure sharing this details with the team helps any point of time. Okay. Okay. Yes. Do you have any more questions before we go ahead? I know this is not the end. This is just the beginning. A lot of conversations, a lot of pointers, which will be still open questions or open pointers. Feel free to, I shared the group links, WhatsApp group links in the chat. Feel free to join, and we can have the discussion continues in the groups as well. Right? It's not just once a month discussion. So moving on, like we initiated that buddy mentoring program, and for the Q1, 30 folks already registered. We will let you know what's the next timelines for this buddy mentoring program. And this is like helping each other. It's not a training or anything as such. Helping each other and making sure succeeding in their career or in their roles, whatever it is. That's what the intention of this program. And we started it. And coaching coupon giveaway. As a ICF certified coach, I got few coaching coupons, which is free of cost. I will be sharing with the identified folks. Whoever is active in today's discussion, I made a note of their names. So check your emails tomorrow morning. Most probably you might be receiving an email with the details. If in case any questions, we can discuss further on it. Then before wrap up, just a couple of announcements. There are many free and paid sessions are coming up. So as a community engagement activity, we are just bringing up the details. The free virtual events, tomorrow, Balaji T is having this webinar on safe and enterprise agility in IT. And Krishnamurti is having big file of transforming habits. And the enterprise agility world, they are having a session on decoding disruption, overview of certified enterprise agility consultant. This session is scheduled on 9th and 16th, the same session. And if in case any of you are looking for PMP, the PMI Hyderabad chapter is having Kickstart Your PMP Journey interactive webinar on 16th March. So I will share these details, the registration details of these events over email. So feel free to join and make use of these opportunities. And by SS Agile Gurus, we are coming up with few virtual events. And the safe mentoring cohort, we are planning to bring it in the Q2 right now, still finalizing on the details. The Scrum and Kanban hands-on simulation and the safe hands-on simulations. We are planning to bring up all these hands-on simulations. It's not just the theory part, as I mentioned, WSJF is one of it, and the PI planning simulation. And there are different events, different simulations, which we are planning to bring up, both Scrum, Kanban level or at the safe level. Watch out for the details in the schedule. And in-person events, these are paid events, just as part of the community engagement, we just want to share. Agility Today in Hyderabad, the next Saturday, they are having an event, full day event, but the morning session, not the entire morning session, the first session, Atlassian community is organizing it for free. So if in case anyone is interested, either for free event or for the full day event, there is a discount code available. And Regional Scrum Gathering Pune is coming up in the month of April. Regional Scrum Gathering in Bangalore is coming up in the month of July. Make sure, if in case you are looking for any in-person events, you can take part in any of these events. Only thing is, for Try Scrum, I don't have a discount code, but for Agile Virgin and APGI events, I have a discount code as a volunteer. I can share that with whoever is interested. And Agile Network India, they do a lot of various free events across the cities. Watch out for that space. Yes, so that brings us to end of the discussion or end of session today. Feel free to share your feedback on the chat, or you can unmute and speak, or you can share it on the slides.
Venkat, trust me, there are few questions really inspired me a lot, and I was scratching my head while mm, how others are added their voice on it. So overall session and some questions are really super, can give lots of learnings and think through uh, what is exactly the correct one. Specifically, there's a good discussions on its product owner and product management and defects. What every organization have many thoughts, and other one is the self organizations one really I like a lot. So overall is a very good sessions and lots of learning. Thank you so much for conducting this one and really showered by all your knowledge and group of participants and coaches here.
Uh,
Thanks.
one last question, guys. I'm sorry I'm asking so late. One question to
Sure,
me
sure.
was that as a Scrum Master, I have never participated in a prioritization session. So does a Scrum Master even participate in that? Because usually the PO gives us all the like they create all the stories and all the discussion happens with the PO with stakeholders. So does Scrum
It's
Master
not
even take part?
compulsory. It's not compulsory. If he is
So
there,
Vineet,
that will be great. But
yes. So
it's a
sometimes,
primary responsibility of product owner. Sorry, Satish. Go.
yeah. So Vineet, sometimes, not sometimes, many times, the Scrum Master is not even aware when and how the prioritization is happening.
yes,
But
that's why I'm
yeah,
asking this.
especially the service companies, right? So let's suppose your product owner is from the client side, right? So they might not even inform you or involve you in their discussions. But some cases, what happens is, what if your product owner is new to prioritization, or what if your product owner is new to agile? So we may have to coach them, or we may have to mentor them, or guide them, or assist them. What is prioritization? How to do that prioritization? All those things, right? And
Okay,
not as
okay,
a Scrum Master, but as a coach, or maybe as a different role, we may have to facilitate the prioritization events. Like in the safe
okay.
perspective, some cases, the RT or the agile coach might facilitate the feature prioritization discussions or the story prioritization discussions. So it is a facilitate. We might not be involved, we might not be doing the prioritization, but we might be facilitating the discussion. But many cases, as we mentioned, the product owner, they themselves might do that prioritization.
And I think
Okay.
even if we are not involved, we should then also ask, because the team itself won't be knowing how the stories are prioritized. So maybe one session, it should be made transparent to the team, right? How the stories are ordered or prioritized, on what basis, so that at least they also get
Yes.
that information and insights, what is valuable and what is not. And there should be some logic behind, not just randomly throwing the story. Some logic the PO should tell, whatever logic he has. It should not be perfect in the book, but some point of logic should be there, that how he is prioritizing some piece of work. Even if you are not involved, but it should be visible somewhere in the Confluence or SharePoint that this is the process what we are following, right? As a prioritization in a team.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are not
See,
doing, maybe we should start doing that. I don't know.
see, as part of RAC, it's a C. The role of Scrum Master here is should be consulting. Okay, where he or she is not responsible or accountable for joining those prioritization. But as Satish has told, if product owner itself is new, Scrum Master has to guide them, right? That's how the role differs.
Okay. Thanks, Sahil.
Thanks
Hey,
for
I
that
have
question, Nidhi.
Satish,
Yes,
I have
yes.
one more
Yes.
question. Is it too late,
Yes,
or maybe
Praveen.
if not, I'll post it in the group?
Yeah, we can post it in
Good,
the
good.
group. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. We can try to answer and we
Yeah.
can see.
So, I mean, one of
One
the
last
common
question.
question, sure, thank you so much. So, one of the common question I've been hearing these days is, so, I mean, how does the transformation takes place, right?
I mean, in many of the YouTube videos also, one of the common interview question is, how does the transformation takes place? So I didn't get chance to participate in the transformation. So I'm just curious on what things we have to consider.
I think this has to be discussed offline only.
Definitely. That itself is like a 2-hour session. Not a 2-minute question.
But we have
For
some
sure.
discussion videos that happened last time also. Satish will share offline. If you feel more discussion is needed, you can have one-on-one with me or Satish, whoever the mentor, they can guide you on this.
Sure.
But
Thanks
it's
so
a
much.
big topic. It's not a small topic.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
And Sahil just now mentioned like any transformation should start with why. Exactly. Why we are doing this transformation, or what's the outcome we are trying to achieve by doing this transformation. We need to start with that. So then the next steps will follow. Okay. Yes. Thanks, Prolika. Okay then. Yes.
Thanks all. I have to drop Satish. No? Thanks everyone.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a nice weekend.
Yeah, thank you all.
Have a
Thank
good
you, guys.
weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.